The Toyota Innova had always been the premier choice for anyone looking for a comfortable, reliable 7-seater MPV. But with the arrival of this brand right here, I think everything's about to change. Here we have the 2021 Geely Okavango Urban Plus. This is the top of the line trim of the Okavango. Today I'm going to show you around this car and I'm also going to give it a test ride, so stay tuned. The front of the Okavango looks very similar to an Innova in terms of like the proportions of it, including the size of the hood. But what I really love about this is that this is what Geely calls the expanding Cosmos grille, which honestly looks really nice. Then you even have like a camera over here because this car has a 360-degree view camera in the middle. That way you can see that there's so much cameras all around this car that would be stitched up for the image inside your infotainment screen. Now this Urban Plus variant comes with this ADB adaptive headlights, and these are full LEDs. They even have like the low beam and the high beam adaptation. That way if there's an incoming car and you have your high beams on, it'll actually like avoid that car to not blind the driver in front of you. Now this one, all Okavangos, despite the trim, will get these full LED fog lamps as well. And as you move on over to the side of the car, you can see that again, the shape of it is very reminiscent of your typical MPV. But what I really love about this is that you get really big wing mirrors. That way maneuvering this car is very easy. You get Continental tires, which is something I really did not expect from a car of this brand. So these are German-made Continental tires wrapped in 225/55/18s. And as you can see over here, it says 48-volt EMS. I'll get to that later in the engine segment. Now let's go up top. And as you can see, there is this really nice roof rack. And what I love about it is that the way it tapers off at the back and even in the front, it's just a very clean looking futuristic design. Most of these would like taper off like this down to the base of the car, but this one, it's like a floating design. The back of the Okavango, honestly, there's really not that much design cues here at the back. So this is what I would describe to be a minimalist design. So what little things you do have though, you have like this small deck lid spoiler right here, a third brake light, you get a big thing that says Geely right here, but they didn't stop there because they gave you another Geely badge right here in chrome. Now these are full LED rear lights, and you get an Okavango badge as well, because why not? Now to open this up, you do have a power tailgate. You just press down here. This one lifts up like that, and it's rather fast for a power tailgate, I must say. And back here, you're gonna see that you don't really have that much space with the third row up, but the very moment you put them down, just by pulling this thing right here, and you have so much space back here. You can even lie down there, and you can even fold down the second row seats in a 33-33-33 configuration. As you lift this one up, you'll be surprised to see that you do not have a spare tire nor a donut, but don't worry because you do have one. It's just, well, down there under the car. Now to close this one, you just press this, and it takes a while. It just keeps going, and then it'll finally like slam itself down like that and suck itself shut. Under the hood of the Geely Okavango, you have this 1.5-liter turbocharged inline-3 engine, which produces 190 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque. Now this is also mated to 48-volt electric motor synergy drive thing, which can produce up to 50 Newton meters of torque and 10 kilowatts of power, making this a very smooth driving experience. The Okavango also has a really cool feature as long as you have the car locked. So you press the lock button first on the key fob, then this bottommost button, and it'll start up just like that. Now, it's also going to start cooling your air conditioning inside. That way, if you're in a hot summer day and you want the car cool before we enter it, you can do it just like that. Now, you can also turn this off. So you just do the reverse. You press the unlock button, and then you hold down the same bottommost button, and your Okavango shuts off just like that. Amazing. Inside the Okavango, first let's check the thud of the door. Good sounding door thud. And I also love these really huge door handles to start the car up. So you get push button start, fires right up like that. But as you heard, there's not much of that starter motor sound. Instead, I think that's like the mild hybrid system, kind of like helping it start. Anyway, so in here in the interior, the materials up top and on the side, they lean a little bit more towards the durable side rather than a plush side, but that's fine because everything else more than makes up for it. For example, you get really soft leather up here. You get a nice leather wrap seating wheel, which is also adjustable, both tilt and telescoping, which is something I really love. Then the seats too, the leather on it is really plush here in the center too. Now mind you, the seats are 6-way power adjustable for the driver's side and 4-way power adjustable for the passenger side. Now, what do you get with this Urban Plus top of the line trim? Well, you get a fully digital 12.3-inch instrument cluster. While the lower trim is also digital, it's not as nice as what you get here on the Urban Plus. So you get your eco mode settings, you turn it with the swivel wheel and go for comfort. It changes too, and to sport mode goes red, and it looks really pretty. In the middle, although you don't get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you have an infotainment system that is very responsive, and you also get this QD link thing for you to mirror your phone, so that's really good. You also get a lot of settings that you can easily like change, and there's just so much settings in this car that you can personalize to your liking. Now, these air vents in the middle, I love the shape of it. They're not square, nor are they round, so they have this like infinity design to it in the middle, and they remind me of like Mazda cars that could be a little bit more premium, something like maybe the MX-5 even. You get a place to put your phone, although it is not a wireless charging pad. You get 2 USB ports right here, and then finally we move on to this shifter right here. So this shifter right here, it reminds me of Volvo cars, because after all, Geely owns Volvo, so they did use a lot of Volvo technology in this car, and this looks really beautiful. So you get park in the middle, then you can also like go to your usual drive, reverse, and all that. It's a lot easier to use than its other Chinese counterparts. You can also get manual mode in this car. You do not get paddle shifter, so that is fine for this segment. This 360-degree view camera that can be activated by a push of a button right here is probably one of the clearest I've seen on the industry. So you have your 2D view, which you can like turn all the way like that, and you even have the 3D view just like that, and if the door is open, it also opens up with it. If you turn the wheel though, it also turns with it, which is really cool. Now, a couple more things that you can do with this thing is that if you press more, you even have like a front wide view, a rear wide view, and also like front side views and rear side views. Really interesting. This works up to a speed of 30 kilometers per hour as well. The screen I mentioned earlier, this 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster is, and I dare say, one of the best in the industry as well. It's better than even like the screen you get in a Mercedes-Benz E-Class, or like a Mercedes-Benz A-Class at least, and it's just so crisp and so very responsive. You can even control it with like this thing right here, so you just press this button to control your average fuel consumption, your radio settings, your trip computer, and all that. Then to your left, you even have your cruise control settings with a limiter. Now, in terms of cubby, you got a couple of it in this car, so you got a small place to put probably like pens over here. You get a place to put, I don't know what you can put in here, some small coins maybe, a huge cubby down here with a 12-volt outlet. Then you also have this thing right here, which you can slide open, where you reveal a really huge cup holder or a jug holder. Open this one up and you get a place that is cooled. And finally, one thing I really love about this car is this electronic parking brake. It doesn't really take up that much space, and in most cars, like the electronic parking brake that comes with an auto hold feature is a little bit how do I say this, it's a bit jerky. So if it goes into like auto hold, then you step on the gas, it tends to jerk a little bit before it will disengage, but in this car it is incredibly smooth. Another thing I love about it, in most cars, if you rev the car while you're in idle and you touch the steering wheel, you're gonna feel a lot of vibration, but for this one, you really don't feel anything at all. And mind you, it is an inline 3 engine. It's not even an inline 4, yet it does that. Now, up top you get a huge, I think it's like 60 plus inches of panoramic sunroof goodness, and all this real estate goes all the way to the heads of those seated in the second row. Here at the second row of the Okavango, first let's check the third of the door. Sounds even better than the front, and I love how you get the same huge door handles as the front. So back here, space is just amazing. So I'm 5'6" and I'm seated by my driving position. As you can see, there is like what they say, a meter of leg room even here at the back, which is really cool. Then what I love about this car is that you don't get 60-40 folding seats. Instead, you get 33, 33, 33. That means that each passenger back here gets their own seat. And this middle seat right here, although you do not get an armrest, since you do get your own seat, it feels very much more comfortable back here, and it's nice and wide, so seating 3 people back here is definitely no problem at all. Plus the fact that you have great headroom despite this panoramic sunroof, and you see the stars and the skies from back here. Now, as for your toys though, what do you get back here? Well, you get your own map pocket, you get your own climate control settings. So this car is 3-way climate control settings, and you can even like set the fan speed individually and the temperature independent of the front. And finally, you get 2 USB ports and a cubby down here. Now, this Urban Plus trim, or even, well, the Urban, as opposed to the base model Comfort trim, also gets 8 speakers all around the car. So as you can see, you even get like 2 over here on each side at the back. Getting to the third row of the Okavango is definitely a lot easier than, let's say, in an Innova, Fortuner, or Ford Everest. So you just pull this lever right here. The entire seat moves a bit upwards and then forwards. Just slide it forward like that. Then, once you climb on back here, you just pull it towards you. Then you lift up this lever again. And then you pull it towards you again. Now, when you're finally back here, legroom isn't exactly great, but for a 5'6" guy, it's not bad. If you're a bit taller, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. Headroom is really good though, and it's strictly a 2-seater, but you can kind of squeeze 3 people back here if you want to. What's good about it though is that since this is a 33-33-33 split second row, you can move these seats, slide it forward and backwards individually. For your toys, you don't really get that much back here, so you get your own air vent, a cup holder, and a place to put your phone. So driving the 2021 Geely Okavango Urban Plus. As you set off in this car, the first thing you'll realize is just how much of a refined car it is, how much of a refined cruiser it is. Now this shares a similar technology with like Volvo cars, and I've driven a couple of Volvo cars and other European cars, and refinement wise, I must say that this car can easily compete with those, and it's just mind-blowing because at 1.47 million pesos, you really do not expect this car to be anywhere near those cars, but it simply does. It's much better than its other Chinese competitors currently flooding the market, and it's just a much more solidly built car overall. Now, at this price range and for what the car is, the best comparison you have for this car is probably the Toyota Innova, which we have way too much of, as proven by so much posts of it on Facebook. But for the similar price, you really can't go wrong with this car compared to that, because that car is just a really boring, bare bones, way too common car with not that much tech in it. But this one just has so much tech, and the steering too, the electronic power steering is just way more comfortable. Even like the ride comfort of this car compared to the Innova is just way better. It's just leagues apart. It's crazy. Now, since under the hood you have this 1.5 liter inline 3 engine, you'll expect that it's going to be very rough riding, but for some reason it's not. It feels like an inline 4 or even like an inline 5, because that mild hybrid system seriously does help out with the power delivery of this car. It can even develop like peak torque like 1500 RPM, so the very moment you want to accelerate this car, it just goes. An Innova will never ever, despite being a diesel with lots of torque, push you back to your seat, but this car really does push you back. You don't even need to like put it in sport mode, right? But should you want to put it in sport, whoa, there's wheel spin right there. There's a lot of torque in this car. And again, you get it so low down in the RPM range, which means that it is very usable power. You don't have to rev this car so much just to get that sense of power. We go back to the electronic power steering system of this car, which is incredibly light. It's very great for your Manila traffic. So put it into like sport mode, it does tighten up a little bit. Put it in comfort or eco mode and it becomes extremely light. I can move this like one finger just like that. And strangely though, the handling of this car, despite this incredibly light steering system, is not horrible. In fact, it has less body roll than some of the crossovers from the other Chinese brands, which I reviewed in the past 2 weeks. Like if I just corner like this, there's not much body roll, and I'm going like 30 kilometers per hour there. I'll take this corner rather fast too, and that's really quite impressive. This car handles not even like a crossover. In fact, it's gonna be pretty close to a sedan, like a rather boaty sedan. Talk about the Toyota Camry, a large boaty sedan. It feels kind of like that. Talking about the power of this car again, put it in sport mode and you floor it, and there's a lot of power. How can an MPV do it? And it's an inline 3, right? The brakes are also really good. You get like ventilated disc brakes at the front and solid disc brakes at the rear, and it translates to a really good braking feel. Now, a lot of Japanese cars, or if you're coming from, well, if you're a Japanese car owner, you're gonna be very disappointed with a lot of European car brakes, because you think there's like a bunch of air as you step on the brake before it actually bites. But personally, I really love that feel, and that's what this car has, because it just allows you to deliver a more smoother braking experience. In those Japanese cars, you just step on it a little, it bites too much, then you get jerked forward, which is quite annoying. But this car is a European style brake, and I really love the braking feel in this car. As you're driving along too, you just open up that panoramic sunroof and everything just brightens up in this car. If you have claustrophobia and you want to find a way to treat it in some sort of like therapeutic experience, then the Okavango is what you need. Mind you though that you have to step up to this top of the line trim to get it. However, if you really don't want to go for it and you just want to go for like the comfort trim of this car or even the regular urban model of this car, those can be had for considerably way less money. And for that, honestly, it's still a great deal overall. When you're maneuvering this car in really tight spaces, there's nothing to worry because despite the car being rather large, you get really rather large wing mirrors as well, but they are foldable. So you can just easily just press a button, they fold out, and there you go. Once they fold, it's so easy to like pass through like tight streets with this car. Plus the fact that you get your beautiful 360-degree view camera, which is hands down the clearest and the most responsive to use in the industry. So the very moment you press it, or even if you're just like gonna turn a corner, it would activate and it would really show you the curb a lot, which is really good. I really love it. It really prevents you from curbing your 18-inch rims. Such a good system. When it comes to the visibility of this car, I really appreciate the fact that this window has like a separate cutout for the quarter panel. That way, even if the A-pillars are rather large, you can still see a lot out of them. Through the back too, it's a bit small, but your windows on the side, and we go back to the really big wing mirrors, means that visibility is really great with this car. Now, a very important question to ask is, what is the fuel economy of this inline-3 engine plus a mild hybrid? Well, you'll be pleased to know that in rather bad Manila traffic, I'm returning around 6.9 to 7 point something kilometers per liter. So let's just say an average of like 7.5 kilometers per liter. And that's with really, really heavy traffic here in the city. Now we're gonna put the car into sport mode and I'm just gonna floor it. We have an open road right here. It's really fast. There's so much power under this. Yeah, that's really fast. I really don't expect an MPV to go that fast, but the power and the delivery of it is just amazing in this car. You just do it again one more time. If you want to like change lanes and overtake. Ooh, that's so good. The dual clutch transmission is also really crisp. That's why I love these dual clutch transmissions. If you get like a CVT, it's gonna get really buttery and really rubbery, but for this one, the shifts are just so damn crisp. Oh, one more thing. Since it is a wet clutch dual clutch transmission, if you're going at low speeds, there's just a little bit of jerk, but it's still much better than if you have like those dry clutch dual clutch transmissions. Here on the highway, the Geely Okavango really excels. Now, I thought the inline-3 engine wouldn't do well on the highway, thinking that it's a bit on the lower output side and it's going to be a little bit more unrefined. And I thought that it's just going to be purely a city-going car. But I'm pleasantly surprised that here on the Skyway, it performs really well. It's incredibly smooth. Couple it with this 7-speed wet clutch dual clutch transmission, put it in sport mode, and it really goes. The shifting is so crisp as well. It's actually a little bit better in terms of shifting than a lot of Audis, Volkswagens, and V8 suppression is amazing. If you're seated behind me and we're driving on a highway and I put a blindfold around your eyes and all that, you will think that you're driving something like a Mercedes-Benz GLB. It's really that good. The NVH is just amazing. It's incredibly quiet. Then you have your Continental tires, which are, well, they are German tires, and Germans really know how to make their tires because they have the Autobahn, right? So now that we're going at speeds nowhere near Autobahn speeds, it is incredibly quiet. In terms of fuel economy, this car returns around 13.5 kilometers per hour, which is not bad considering that it is a gasoline engine. A lot of diesel cars can't even get to that level. And then finally, there is the pricing, which I mentioned earlier. This car costs 1.478 million pesos, which is nowhere near the cost of a top spec Innova. Yet you get so much more. This car is just so much better built and just so much more refined that you can easily, definitely mistake this for a Euro car. So if you're looking for a 7-seater SUV or MPV, I do highly urge you to check out the Geely Okavango first. It is just probably my new favorite MPV in the market.